Good morning, folks. Welcome back again. You can see we're starting back with our file of trucks because we're going to do them traveling through a narrow slot canyon, kind of Arizona-esque in vibe. And I figured why remake everything if we're just gonna, or bring it all in if we're just gonna use these again. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to, I don't know, first off, I guess I'm gonna turn them all off just to get them out of my way. But I just want them here. And there we go. So I was thinking I might try something different for building terrain today, and that is I think I'm going to use a Bezier curve. I don't know if this is a better way to do it, but it's a different way, and we'll see if we like it. I've not tried it before to build my whole ground from that. But since the canyon is sort of narrow, I think it might make sense. And it'll give us a bit more of an organic, potentially, shape to it. So let's curve it around that way. So that's going to be our ground curve. And let's just check out a truck and scale. I think we might need it to be a bit bigger than that. But I wasn't sure of. A scale, well, no, tab, scale. There we go. Let's make it that long. 1, 2, 3, maybe even a little longer. That long. Scale. And cool. So let's come through. It is good to have at least one truck here so we can see what the scale is going to be. And let's extrude it. How wide do we want our canyon to be? 4 meters? I think 4 meters sounds good. That might be too wide, but let's look at it and see. Select everything. Again, tilt 90 to get it flat. Yeah, that's too wide. Extrude. I want it to be like that wide. I think to start. And curve. Can we? I want to split it, but I want to. Subdivide it. You can subdivide a curve, right? Subdivide. Yeah, cool. I want to add more control points because what I want to do, first off, let's fix this one. There we go. Because now we can scale it with Control A, right? I think it's Control, that was Control A. Well, we can just do radius here. I'll widen that up there a bit. And I'm going to narrow this one down. And let's narrow this one down. So we have a few endpoints. And just to make our life easier, let's do that. Just so we never have to worry about being able to see through the end of our canyon. Is that going to fit? Is our truck going to fit? Should, but let's see. Select objects. No, tab. Truck. Select objects. G. Yeah, it'll fit there. Just, but that's fine. Just is what we want. Okay. Alrighty. So if we're gonna say that that's our ground to start with, and I'm okay with that, let's save. Let's convert it to mesh. And now we've got this. And we need to fix that. Ugh. I think I just see. I'm gonna delete this. X faces. There we go. And actually, let's try converting it now. Let's quad remesh it. Count of 200. Sure. Delete the original. Let's see what we got. Yeah, that looks good. Give us something. A little bit of geometry to play with, which will become important potentially later. Okay. So now you can select that, and those are our canyon walls. And we just do an EZ up. Let's scale it out just a little. Kind of warp it out. And I'm gonna get rid of these. Didn't need those. So that got selected. Faces. Okay, and then when it gets selected again, and EZ, S, Shift Z. Do that. We can actually just grab this one and GX and take it that way. Okay, and we'll do this one, GX, and take it that way. So it does widen up a little bit further up. We get this interesting slope action here. It's going to feel very claustrophobic. And then it widens a straight there. Not bad. You just take these here, turn on proportional, and G, widen it out just to that a little bit. Cool. Maybe we'll do the same thing here. We'll make it a little less claustrophobic. Let's do connected only. Okay, cool. And I don't really know that we need to add, we need to remesh it again. Let's just do 2 there, 3 there, and the same on the side. And there we go. That seems pretty even. I'm not too worried about the stretching on that. And we're going to keep our ground, I think, basically flat. So let's come through and grab that. That'll grab that. 1 minus, no, actually, tab. I want to do 2. I want to add an edge loop here and an edge loop here. Because I don't want to be able to go straight to the end of on a flat. I want to have some bumping as it gets to the end. You'll see what I mean. That and that. Okay. And then those are going to be the vertices we're going to assign to detail. There we go. Looking okay. And yeah. Okay, tab, F4, append, terrain generator. Node tree, trainer base, append. This, let's just make sure it's the right scale, rotation scale. Add a modifier, geometry nodes, and trainer base. Ooh, yeah. And that gets a little narrow, doesn't it? Let's make our strength on this 5. That feels a little light, maybe. Let's just kind of come through and look. Oh, that's a little too high, too. Damn it. I don't want to do that. So our flat resolution of 2. Is that going to bring it back in more? No, actually, well, maybe. Mass resolution of 5 and decimate of 0.1. I just want to make it a bit bumpier. That is a lot bumpier. Okay. And I might have been wrong for wanting to do it the other way. I think I might be. Let's tab and select this one and also add them to detail. Let's see if that's gonna be better for us. I didn't really want that raised up. Well, still doing it there too. This one, assign tab. Oh yeah, that's better. I just didn't grab the right one. That one, assign. This will make it, yeah, smooth into the base better. Okay. Looking okay. Can we fit a truck there? Do we need to widen this out? I think we need to widen that out a little bit. Okay. Here, tab. Let's grab 3. And there. Okay. And that might, let's widen this one up just a little bit. See, that's better. Yeah, I think a truck will fit through there now. Yeah, it will. Cool. Narrow, but good, which is what we wanted. We want it to feel narrow. Now we can do some fun things. I know, right? Let's come back in. Now let's just say 3 faces, 2 bridge edge loops. So we get, that's kind of weird looking and neat. I like it. Okay, let's do a couple of those. Maybe we won't do all of them double like that though. So let's go to this one. X faces. Oh, I can widen it out though. Yeah, and 2 bridge edge loops. Let's just see again. Neat. And we can kind of come back into it again though. And 2, add some edge loops. Warp it. Let's here. Can't really add an edge loop this one because it's all messed up, but it's kind of neat anyway. Let's do one more. Again, kind of like, how low do we want to go? We don't want to be any lower than this one, right? 3, that one, and let's do this one. X faces, 2, select that, bridge edge loops, 2, give us some subdivision, and G. Let's see what we get. Neat. Maybe make it a bit wider at the top. And we can even just change that up. Just give it some variety. Yeah. Cool. I like those shapes. That is working for me. Okay. Now, I had an idea. I kind of want to try it. 3, Shift G, coplanar. Oh, come on, you gave me more than that. You can even just grab the whole thing, I guess. Sure, we'll just grab the whole ground. And Shift D, P, P selection. Cool. Then I want to grab our new ground, and I want to remove this geometry node. So it's just flat, right? Yes. Okay. Now, Q, mesh tools, or operators, right? Yeah, clean mesh. How small does it make it? Just one super n-gon now? Yes, it is. Awesome. Very cool. Save. So I picked up this other geometry node yesterday for making cobblestones. It's like $5 on Blender Market, and I was drowning my sorrows by buying something, which is fine. While append and cobblestones. Node tree, cobblestone path, append. Let's see if we can do that to this real quick. Geometry nodes, cobblestone path. And we got lots of neat cobblestones. I want to make them bigger. Is it scale? I can't remember which one it is. Scale of 1. Is it size of 2? No, size is the differentiate between the two of them, right? Come on. I know it's a lot of geometry right now. You're really thinking a lot. Scale of 1. Oh, I want to change the resolution first. Come on. Where are we? There we are. Okay, we're still there. Great. Okay. Let's go resolution of 1. Just to make, while we're working at least. Okay. And size of 0.5. Okay, that makes them bigger. And scale. There we go. That's kind of what we wanted. This is a neat little thing. We're going to display noise scale of like 0.02. Oh, no, sorry, noise scale of 1. Offset power of like 0.01. 0.02. Does a little bit. Okay, let's increase it more because they're big. 0.1. That's kind of cool. I want to increase the distance between them, which I think is the size. Oop, nope. Scale. Yes, that's the distance between them. And size of 1, not 1, 0.6. And offset power of 0.02 down lower. I'm just kind of looking to see what we get here now. I do want these stones to feel like they're around. I don't want quite as many though. Yeah. Scale. Again, fewer. Size. Again, bigger. Something like that. How do we feel about it? I don't know if I'm loving it yet. It's an idea, but I want it to be like a road, but a worn road. So, I'll take it back. Okay. Thickness, random of 0.02, just so they're not all the same. Offset power, 0.05. Try that a bit more, see how we feel. Thickness, 0.1. Great, we're gonna do that because we're gonna bring them down a little bit, I think. We'll try this. If we don't like it, we don't like it, it's fine. There we are. Okay. Let's just go ahead and apply it. And tab, and I'm gonna delete faces, that ground. Leaving me with only those things. Now, I think what I might try is, it's a lot of options. Select random, ratio of like 0.1, and maybe even 0.01, Control L. Okay, so even that's a lot. We could reverse it. X vertices. That cuts down our count a lot. Makes it feel a little bit more worn. I like that. And then GZ, let's bring it down slightly like that, so they're more into the ground. We could probably have just done a scatter system, but that's a neat, different way to do it. Okay. I'm liking that. Doing good. I want it to feel like it's possible that people want to not be 100% sure if it was built or not, you know? Let's put our trucks in now just to sort of see where we're going. I want to go the other direction too, because of course I do. I want to get a median point for the other ones. Truck 2. Select objects, RZ180. Truck 3. I don't really care what order is in right now. I might change my mind on that. Right now, it doesn't matter to me which one's in front. Chuck 4. And truck 5. RC 180. There's our crane truck. I think I want the crane truck at the back, right? Yeah, I think I want it back here. I'll move truck 2. Yes. See, as soon as I say that, I know it's going to change my mind. I'm like, wait, I do care. We have our narrow box canyon coming in. And I think I want to take 2 of the motorbikes because I know we've established that there are 4 on the mission. And 7. And G, I'm going to mount them on this thing, I think. RZ 180, 50. Okay. GZ. Will they fit? I think it'd be cool if they would. Yeah. So we're going to have 2 mounted up here on that. Because they're sort of an in case kind of thing. GY. Bring it right up to, well, maybe not even that far. Okay. Good deal. Hey, Rob. I've had better days. I didn't get a job yesterday that I was really hoping for, and I'm kind of feeling sad about it. But other than that, I'm doing okay. You know, state of the world. I kind of felt like I was the perfect candidate, but I guess they didn't agree, and that's okay too. Put a bike here. We'll put people on it later, and then we have a bike up here. Okay, that's kind of neat. I think I want to put some more rocks and stuff in here. Let's go to me. Well, it's not me, but just put it in me. GT Empire of the Sands. Like I said, I picked this up over the sale at Blender Market 2 weeks ago, and it has some cool rocks and stuff and pillars and things in it. And these large rocks are going to be neat, I think. Let's bring one in. And put it like right there. And down. So like there. Cool. And another one. Like a medium rock here. It's almost as big as our large rock. Might be bigger than our large rock, but it's a medium rock. Okay. Cool. Save that. And let's see other cool spots we want to put one in. Let's put one back here on this side here too. That looks like a large rock. Sure. I want us to wonder if they're pillars or not. Like they should feel almost like worn but constructed pillars. And I think that does. I don't think we're gonna get that far back, but just in case, Alt-D, RZ. Bring it in over here. Yeah, that's how we wanted it. Something like that. I'm not sure we'll even see it. Well, we might see it looking back. But, you know, it's an instance. It's not taking up that much space on us. So, kind of cool. Nice. What kind of fun stuff can we throw in here? First, let's apply this geometry node. Think we're good with that? Yeah. Great. Okay. Now we can edit it and select. Cool. That's our, even that's huge. Don't really need that much. Let's see, Shift G coplanar. 3. Shift G coplanar. Cool. So there's our ground mostly. And we can go a bit bigger. Okay, so that's gonna be our new ground. Let's just solo it and see. Just fill in a few places it doesn't grab. Ah. Okay. And doesn't really matter, but just we're here, so we got lots of time. Let's just get it all. Or mostly all. There's our ground. Right. Okay, so let's assign a new group. Call it ground. Turn off caps locks. Tab. And let's unsolo. Oh, let's put this, this, this. Is that all of them? And this. New collection. We're going to call it rocks. Sure. Okay. Nice. Now, how much plant life do we want in our desert? That's the question, I think. We could go with literally none, which is where we're at now. And that's not necessarily a, did I close the, I guess I did. I keep closing that by accident. New, cool. I will need to close it for scattering later, but shaders, me, desert sandstone on here. Let's see what we got. It's going to need to be UV'd. I just remembered. Excuse me. I don't know how much modeling we're going to do today. I think this might be more of an illustration kind of day. This doesn't actually look like it does need to be UV'd. No, it's pretty good. And I want to change the scale of our sand. It's a little bit too big. But that's looking neat. Let's do that. Shading. Let's see, which way is it going? Here's my split. All right. Material, come on, come on, come on. Solo it. And I'm just going to say, okay, so top is sand. Great. So this is sand. Mapping. Scale on it. Let's try 1. That takes it way smaller, doesn't it? Yeah. Yeah, not quite 1. We were at 0.1 before, so like 0.25. Yeah. Feels better. Yeah, that's okay. I like that. Nice. Okay. Save. What's the material on this sucker? It is large rocks. I wonder if I can use it on here. Or if it's going to be weird. Cube projection. That does not seem to be, oh, minus and minus. There we go. No, large rocks is not going to work. It has UV issues. Thought it might. But let's just look at Empire Sands. And materials. And tiling building material. What does that look like? A little dark. Tiling sand. That seems okay. How does that fit into our space? Seems okay. Just not liking this ground texture. The sand in this one is not working for me for what I wanted. So let's fix it. We got time. Yeah. Come here. Gets hard with these things get this big to deal with sometimes. Unsolo it. And we could just do the, let's just see how it goes if we just use this one. Yeah, let's just do that. I think it's better. Just turn off the sand and just use the straight red rock. I feel like that's working okay and gives us a nice sort of differentiation between our cobblestones and our ground. I like that. Sometimes you don't have to add more, you just have to take away some. Save. kind of coming back and just looking through. Should probably give it a sky soon too, but we kind of, because we're doing an illustration more than like a design, it's more about colors and that kind of stuff than earlier on than otherwise. Let's try a little bit of stuff on the ground just to see. So we'll grab this bad boy, go back to unshaded, geoscatter, select that, biome scatters, and open the biomes. And let's see, what do we want? We want something very wastelandy, and we don't want a lot. So whatever it is, we're going to need to cut it way back, probably from what it's going to say we should give it. These are insane, as I recall. That's not too bad. Let's try this one, see what it does. Is that just stones? Stones can be neat. Is that all that's in it though? Shells and rocks. Maybe I'll try the other one. Hey, why not? That actually went pretty fast, so let's try this one. See what it gives us. It's still just the one. Yeah, it's still just a one. No, let's try the big one. Why not? How many layers? Still only one layer. Okay, so all those are just shells and rocks. Beach, maybe that's not the one we want then. But there was sand in that one too. Rock plane 2. That's a lot. Wasteland 7. Let's try Wasteland 7. I don't know. I'm still not quite sure how desolate desert this is. Like, is it zero water anywhere kind of vibe? Yeah. Okay. Get that out of the way. So the first thing we're going to do is vertex group ground and only ground. The next thing we're going to do is upward obstruction rocks. That cuts it down. The next thing we're going to do is cut our rock amount down, I think. Yeah. Clump amount down and thin amount down. Although those we're not even looking at yet. So let's see. That's still too much. The occasional. How do we feel about that? Might even still be a bit much. Kind of neat, but Gravel, what do we have per instance? Quite a few. Let's cut that down. We can't see them. Let's come back in and turn it on. Cool. Good deal. Oh, when those are turned on, it doesn't want to go near them. Interesting. So as we cut that down, or it only goes near them. That's cool. All right, that might be all right. I think we could live with that. Now, kind of makes sense. Let's try one more thing. Copy this system and paste to this system. So I have a new copy of thin. This one is going to have culling mask vertex group. It's not going to be on ground, so we'll just reverse it. It's not on ground, but it's going to have a abiotic slope maximum of, not absolute, of 10. And let's see what that gives us. If we turn, let's save first just in case. Turn it on. Oh, we also still want to upward obstruct on rocks because there are some on the side. And save and turn it on. It's gonna think. And it gives us a few up there. Not many though. A couple here. Yeah. It's not too bad. Maybe we can increase our slope to 15. Kind of adds it along there. Okay. We got a couple up, but that's fine. I like that. I think that is kind of cool. Okay, where are we at? 48? We're doing good. Let's bring some people to riding motorcycles, if nothing else. I'm going to move this to ground so I can turn it off because it's really annoying. And we'll hide geoscatter too. Now I can actually see what the heck I'm doing. We could hide rocks too, honestly. Great. Okay. New Blender. Imperial characters, property characters. See if we can pose some folks. Oh, excuse me. Do 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 do. What else do we want to do while we're waiting? Anything? Yeah, we think we just gotta wait for this blender to open up. Definitely looking at slot canyons in Arizona for reference for this, and Utah too, but not trying to be a slave to any of them because like I added a bit more plant life than there actually was in some of them, but I think it's kind of cooler to have. Come on, Blender. Some days it just seems to want to take forever. Some days it doesn't, and I don't know why. That's a good sign. There we go. All right, so who we're going to put on? I think we'll put our guy with the wraps on the front bike. We had him before. We liked him. Select hierarchy, copy objects. Come back over here and yeah, I don't even know. Paste and no. Bring him forward. Okay. And maybe they're stopped for a second. That could be cool. They're not actually riding right now. So we could put him off here like that. And go to pose mode, local, and no, don't go up, RX, forward. I hate posing. I'm not good at it. It also helps if you have like inverse kinematics turned on and all that kind of stuff, which I do not. So, you know, it's okay, but let's do both these first. Turn his arm somewhat, and then turn his hand somewhat. Cool. And then grab his fingers and grab his hand. And we want, make sure we got individual origins and RX. No, I've got more than that set. Okay, I don't want that bone. RX. That seems pretty good. Object mode. Just going to kind of cheat it closer. And then pose mode. And you can really go nuts, obviously. And then this is, you know, things that character people seem to like to do more than I do. Character people. Okay, let's open that one back up again. Great. And grab his hand again, whole thing. Turn it more that way. Cool. Oh, it's edit mode, object mode. G, Shift C, and bring it back. Now he's got his hand on the bike. Yeah, that's cool. We like him. He has no camera. We should probably create one. Add camera to the scene. Now let's go ahead and set it to what we want it to be. Alexa, anamorphic, Panavision. There we go. Okay, so he's there. Is he standing on something? Just want to make sure he's not floating in midair or some stupid shit. Nope, he seems like he's pretty much grounded. That looks good. Now, we don't probably need to put a driver in every truck, but we should probably put one in at least this one. And we liked her before, so let's use her this time again. And back to scene collection, Control V, paste. And we'll grab her, 7G. There, dot. And, you know, like we could pose her sitting down, but we're not even going to see her. And maybe her arms crossed is kind of cool. So she's like, what the hell is the hold up? As long as her feet don't stick at the bottom, and I don't know if they might. Not really. Let's see. There we go. Now we kind of lined her up pretty well, I think. Let's move her back. A little bit. Great. I'm not worried about her lower body, so no one else should be. But we can see her there, which is good. Save. Cool. Then go back to our full shot. So those are the only two people in this shot we are seeing. We're probably going to do some more shots though, so we might want to put at least somebody else on the bike, and then we can decide past that. But who do we want to put on the second bike? Kind of like her. Let's use her. Now let's see what kind of a pose, since we're probably going to want to pose her. We can't have them all just standing on the side of the bike. It's just, it's cheesy. I mean, a nice A pose. Yeah. His legs wide enough to sit on the bike now. Let's see. Or nearly. Close enough for folk, really. Oh, it's a narrow canyon. Hey, Michael. Yeah, that seems all right. She seems good. Let's bring her up just a little bit. There we go. And pose mode. Let's bend her forward slightly. Cool. And then I really wish we had inverse kinematics set up on these rigs, but I have not figured out how to do that yet. It would just make our life easier, but because then we could just grab the hand and move it and it would go to things. Instead, I have to kind of like tweak it this way and fake it. And again, I am not an animator or particularly great with characters. So, you know, you do what you got to do. I picked up a few tricks, but people like that are hardcore. See, I did figure out how to grab fingers at least. That's kind of handy. And the RX. Great. And I think that's close enough for, you know, what we want. I wish we could just mirror. But we can't. But that's okay. Maybe straightforward is the way to do it. Yeah, seems like it. Alrighty. And then select our finger bones. Great. RX. In. Cool. No. Oh. I think that's close enough for what we want for this. And we can kind of tilt our head up, cock it slightly to the side. Yeah, just give it a different view. Okay. Cool. She's standing on the bike. Well, it gives us our second character if we need. Go get to the camera up like here. Yeah, let's do that. Let's just set some cameras up too. Got the first one set up. There we go. And photographer, let's see. Camera 1, camera 2. Line her up a bit more that way. Which means we'll need a driver for that truck. This is how it happens. This is how you end up with drivers for every truck. It's fine. Who's driving? Let's have this swarthy dude driving. What's his name? Jim. It's a good 1930s sounded kind of name. It's Jim. Indiana's the dog, you know. And again, I don't know how much I super care about his pose, because he's mostly going to be covered by the truck. Could even put him up to the side like this, like he's looking. No, I want him in the vehicle. Let's see what he looks like. Yep, that's fine. I got a guy in the truck. Really, that's what mattered. Okay, it's very dark. We should work on that soon. Kind of just in the composition first. Those first two shots. Is that a third camera? Might as well just set some cameras up. I feel like the back view, looking at our motley crew moving forward. Like that. Sure, that seems like an acceptable one. Focal point on that's going to be, I should probably set the focal point on those two. Maybe this bike here. On this one, it's clearly going to be our guy. And on this one, it's clearly going to be our lady friend. And then fourth shot, before we tweak it out a little bit, what do we want to do? We could do the down view, looking at our whole thing. Add a new camera first. 4, yes. Backwards or front? Let's go to the front. Set a camera, and we can just kind of video game it into where we want it to be. That could be all right. And we focus on our front truck driver there. Let's see. Dark. Taking it though. Let's add a sky. We don't really care about resolution, so we can, because we're not really looking at the sky very much. We want it to be pretty bright. We're in a fairly high up. So probably we want one of the earlier in the day ones. I don't remember what time of day he started, but actually, let's try it. Open plane. These are bright and kind of very top down. Let's try that one. It's still dark there. I think if we get our first shot, we'll get this shot to look right, it'll be okay though, mostly, maybe. Angle 60. Neat. It's very contrasty, perhaps a bit too contrasty. That's better. I do not hate that. Let's see what it looks like from the other angles just to see. She's dark, but we could play with that. That's a good base starting point. Also dark, but again, could play with it. That one seems cool. Not sure. Might even be cooler to go like that. Focus on that. Maybe. Just to have a back shot I don't know. I think I'm going to add a sun. Well, we've got a sun. What do we want to add to fake the lights? Let's start with her. Lights. Now's when we start doing the cinema thing, having established everything. Now we have to make this exterior shot actually kind of work. And we're going to add an area light. And line it up. That gives her some light. That's might be fine. Let's rotate around her. Go a little bit more that way. Maybe cut down our spread to 90, which is going to make her way brighter. So we have to cut the power down to like 2. Yeah, see, with her, let's see. So lights with it, without it, with it. Oh yeah, definitely with it. That's fine for her, I think. She has hair, but it's turned off in the model. Right, I mean in the viewport, but it should be fine. I'm not too worried about that. 2, he needs a similar treatment. Light area 90 and 2 again. And actually, let's just go, let's do it this way. Let's move it straight to on top of him. Set our cursor there. Now we can rotate it off. No, do not move my ground area. Rotate it. That seems acceptable. Let's make it a bit bigger than 90. Let's go with like 120 and up the power to like 5. Gives him more rim light around that arm there. I think. No, not really. Like, yeah, let's see, 10. I want to see it. Now it does. I'm going to rotate it again slightly to the front. Still too bright, but 5. Better. Off, on. I just want to put a bit on the bike too. Yep. Okay. Cool. Save that. This is the kind of stuff I often do after I end these streams, incidentally. I'm like, what are you doing? Very boring lights on people. But you asked for it. Let's do the same. Shift D on that there. So we can lighten that up a bit too. So I can see what it's doing. Just want to try and carve out some shapes, at least we can see it. So like without this, you just kind of lose that whole truck. With it, you get that. But I don't think it feels too much, like I don't think you'd notice that I artificially made that light. I hope not. That's kind of the point. 3. I'm gonna make it 30. Yeah, there we go. So now we've lit that whole kind of front up more. You can see the truck. We kind of carved it in to this space. Cool. That's a better truck. And that one was good. That one, we haven't hurt anything yet, so that still looks good. Cool. Gonna do for 14 minutes, man. Can add a few things to it still. First time, let's turn on back on our geoscatter, just see what we got. Yeah, that's cool. I am good with that. I want to decrease the rocks on it, I think. Certainly the gravel I want to decrease a little bit. And rocks, I'm also going to decrease. Interesting. So it adds more grass as you put off in more rocks. Cool. But I like that better, I think. Check our other camera again. That's fine. Looks good. Watching it render isn't very exciting. No. Doesn't actually take that long usually. Most of my renders from these streams seem to take about 5 to 6 minutes a piece to render by the time I'm done with them, which is very livable. I can deal with that. But it's not that much fun to watch in a stream. There's that. Still looking good. Just trying to see if there's anything that's like popping up. I think I want to light up this truck too, the same way we did the other one. So let's grab, well, the light here rather, which was area 1. Yeah, 7. There we are. And Shift D, G. Let's make it 3 and 8. Try to carve some shape out of this thing. So let's see, with it, without it, with it, still needs to be brighter, I think. 20. Interesting. Okay. Let's move it back to here. That feels better. Yeah. Just to get that little rim light there, I think is helpful and brightens things up a bit. I don't think we want any fog on this one. That feels like that would be kind of overkill. So I'm going to come back here and depth. I'm going to set this 150. I know what I can show you guys. I don't actually do this very often because I never get to this point. Compositing. So what I do after, like, there's the render, and if we can, even this one should all, but we turn on the compositing. And it does do a little bit here. So let me show you my compositing nodes real quick. I got the base setup from Chip, who does KitOps, but I've changed it around some since his. So, but I haven't changed his name. But CW is like Chip Walters, I think. Anyway, so it comes in. The first thing it does is it just gives a little bit of a curve modifier. This is to the final output image. And that passes through into a glare node. So that gives us a little bit of the vibrancy for cycles, because Eevee does do a nice sort of, light bloom effect on its own, but cycles, you kind of have to add this afterward. Then I do a slight bit of color pass. So add a bit of blue to the low ends, quite a lot of orange to the mids, and then a bit of warmer blue to the highs. Then punch this is what I end up changing the most. Sometimes you have to cut this down or change this up a bit, or it starts to just wash everything out one way or another, either too dark or too light. The other thing I will often do is change the factor here of this from being a full 100 to like 50. I'm like, yeah, ease that back, and it's easier. Then this is what you've seen me change this before, the mist depth here. This is just a 1 or 0. It takes the mist depth pass, gives it a blue tint, and assigns it to overlay on top of things, well, mix, based off of this control here. So it adds a fake, what you call it, mist depth to things. So it's like fake fog. It doesn't interact with lights, which is why I end up doing VDBs a lot. But just to add like, what is my brain is gone, but how things tend to get washed out into the distance. That sort of this helps with that. Then we add just a bit of lens distortion, because I find that even though cameras now have gotten better, it just works for CG. I knew a guy who was like, why do you always add so much crap? We spent all this time getting this out of our photography 20 years ago. I'm like, yeah, but it makes CG look more organic, and that's real helpful. So like, you can change these numbers to taste, but that's what I use. And then it's a slight bit of vignetting and back it around, and then a slight bit of grain on top with just a texturized color on top. So that's what happens. That's what I do in the compositing pass. And this stuff here is still not supported real time. It doesn't do the depth pass, but everything else is. So you can see, back to layout. I don't know if that made any sense, if that was just entirely too fast, but yes, viewport compositing is not supported, I know. So this is it with it. And this is it without it. So you can see that lens warp, and it's a little bit blurry and just whatever. I like it. I'm gonna bring up my exposure just a bit to 9, a bit brighter. And I feel like that's probably pretty good. Let's see her hair, just cause. Human gen, show the hair. Great. Yeah, it's fine. Wasn't too worried about it, but yeah. And then, so when you're doing the compositing, again, because it's based off of the output image, just you want to pay attention to things like your fog glare size is going to look different in my viewport than in the end, because the end is a lot bigger resolution. So this size is 8 pixels. So on the viewport, it'll be like, oh, that's huge. And then when you cut it down, it's less, because my viewport is only like, what, 1900 pixels wide, and my render is 5000 pixels wide. Talking a lot. I actually think I might end early today, which, hey, it's not the end of the world, but I think we've pretty much got this where we want it to be. Let's double check again. Yeah, he looks good. I love this like slash of light here. That's cool. That looks fine. I don't think it needs any more light. I like our little cobblestones. They're kind of fun. And then looking down, just sort of an interesting, here's the whole thing shot. Let's make sure focus is set there, right? Yeah, 22 meters. 22 meters, 11 meters, 5 meters, 5.9 meters. Yeah, they've all been set. All right. Yeah, I think I'm gonna call it just a couple minutes early today, just because we're kind of where we need to be, and I'm tired of sick of hearing myself talking. And we'll be back again tomorrow. We'll do another one, and we'll keep going with this. Um, Coloraging, yes, I can answer that. Color balancing, coherent coloring, I think it helps. I actually do a little bit more color balancing in Photoshop at the very end too. I have sort of a couple of LUTs that I like for color, but I do think it helps, just to give it a, you know, a more cinematic look too. Um, like you're limiting your colors to more to what you want them to be and driving them into a range for vibe. And I feel like it's a little punchier, and I just like it. So, um, if you've ever looked at ungraded stuff in for film, it makes a difference. Anyway, yeah, cool. Thanks everybody. Have a great day. Make some cool stuff, and I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, bye.